Hello again, everyone. Happy Wednesday Wellness, and we are very excited to share this new video with you. I hope you are as well. Again, you're watching another Wednesday Wellness video from DrGeorgeJ Holistic Health and Healing. And my name is Kai. I'm one of the members of the team Love God. And of course, we also have here Ayn. You'll hear from her later on. We also have Dr. George Saramuga in the house. All right, so lead with love as the power of love is God, and that is our tagline. Our vision is to build a healthy, vibrant, and resilient nation. Our mission is to empower ourselves to the optimal health of our mind, body, and spirit through the Creator model of healthcare, 5 pillars of wellness. And to know more about that, please do visit our website, drgeorgej.com. And of course, I'll not forget our values, which always revolve around humility, love, and forgiveness. And this is something that we have been sharing in the past videos. Employees stay when they are paid well, when they are mentored, challenged, empowered, promoted, involved, appreciated, trusted, valued, and the last but not the least, when they feel that they are loved. And all of these, hopefully, you will hear more about these later on as we do our book study for the Jesus CEO. And it's about leadership. And as I said, our topic for today is the part 2 or second part of the Jesus CEO Strength of Relationships. And if you haven't watched the first part, I hope that you can join our Facebook group, which is the Creator Model of Healthcare, wherein we post regularly our videos weekly, and of course, you also have them in our YouTube account. And we always start with the scripture reading, followed by our icebreaker, and then our topic discussion. So let me just share a quote from Oglala Lakota Holy Man. Every step you take should be a prayer. And if every step you take is a prayer, then you will always be walking in a sacred manner. Now, let me call on Dr. George Saramuga, who is an osteopathic family physician, an ambassador for Christ, and an active veteran. He'll start with our prayer.
Well, thank you, Kai. It's a pleasure to be back again here on our wonderful Wellness Wednesdays. We look forward to sharing this beautiful vision, the Creator Model of Healthcare, with all of you. And we start in prayer. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future, out of Jeremiah 29:11. Beautiful words just to keep in our hearts, because the Lord, He is a faithful God, and He wants nothing but the best for us. And we just keep on getting up and following His ways, and we lead with love. And Grandpa tells grandson, when grandson asks, what's the meaning of life? Grandpa says, get to know the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember that sacred path, being one with God, ourselves, and others. And that's the red road, or the sacred path, the only path, the path to salvation. And that reminds me, I was just telling Kai and I before we started the video, I recently had a dream, and it's been a long time since I've had a dream, at least one that I remembered. And this one occurred on the 11th anniversary of my dad's journey to heaven. And the dream was of Dad and I in a vehicle, and we're driving to the top of this hill where a statue of the Virgin Mother that was the size of the Empire State Building, which was many, many stories, was. I woke up right at the fork of going to the Virgin Mother statue, and the road we were on was the road to heaven. And so I believe it was Dad's way of saying, you're on the right path, you're on the sacred path, keep up the good work, and don't forget the Virgin Mother and all her help that she can give you and provide that through that flame of love, which is getting to know Jesus Christ. And so that was a beautiful gift given to me. And so I just wanted to share that with all you folks, because those signals of graces, they just always come at the right time, just to keep us going, help us on that path and help each other, right, on that beautiful path. So Ein's going to take us through the icebreaker that she does so well. Take her away, Ein.
Hello, everyone. Today's icebreaker question is: from whom do you receive your encouragement?
All right, so thank you so much for that question, Ayn, that you have prepared for our icebreaker. And well, I'm very grateful that God surrounded me with people who encourages me. I always receive encouragement from my friends, from the church, of course, from the team Love God, and my daughter also encourages me. Like last night when I was like, I'm having really not a headache, but you know, a lot of things to think about the presentation for our meeting later, and she's giving me encouragement not to give up. Yeah, so God always sends his angels, people who will always who will encourage you and will suddenly send you a message, catch up with you, you know everything all at the perfect time. So how about you?
Well, I have encouragement as well from Team Love God. I really enjoy our fellowship together, especially preparing these videos and throughout the week with sending each other uplifting quotes and messages. And from my family as well, and especially my mother, who's always been a beacon of light, and always joyful. So that's where I get my encouragement. How about you, Ein?
Well, like you guys, I get it from my family, from friends, and from our team as well.
Nice. All right. Ein's going to take us through the gratitude affirmations.
All right, so let me guide you through our gratitude affirmations for the day. So take a deep breath, close your eyes if you like, breathe out, and repeat after me. I am so happy and grateful for the life I have. I am beyond blessed that I woke up today. Many did not have this privilege. I am so grateful for all the people that I have in my life. I am so grateful for this loving, beautiful, healthy body I have that continues to get stronger every day. I am so grateful for the work I do now, for many are jobless. I am so thankful that God is working for my greater good. Thank you for giving me another chance to make my life better today.
That's beautiful. And I like how you put us in that meditative posture, just taking a deep breath, like inhaling love, exhaling gratitude, focusing on Jesus. And when you do start your day off with gratitude, or any time throughout the day, that really does humble you and puts you in the right perspective. And an attitude of gratitude promotes that humility, that love, and that forgiveness. So remember the 3 words to change the world: smile, breathe, love. All these little things, they do work. We just have to use them. Just try help us centered, grounded, staying in the present moment. We always want to give salute to our active duty and our veterans and all services across the world, people that wear the uniform to protect us. Veterans are the light at the tip of the candle, illuminating the way for the whole nations. If veterans can achieve awareness, transformation, understanding, and peace, they can teach us how to make peace with ourselves and each other, so we never have to use violence to resolve conflicts again. That's the Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. Lead with love, right? Our objectives, folks, we always start by putting God first, then we give him all the glory. And everything in between is a blessing from him, right? Creating that culture of kindness. We lead with love, finding pure peace in the presence of our Lord, talk to Jesus, our mindful moment, and to be empowered to live fully alive, mind, body, spirit, through the Creator Model Healthcare 5 Pillars of Wellness, all for his glory. Our 4 guiding principles. God is the great physician. God created man in his image, in the divine image. He created man, male and female. He created them. It's out of Genesis. And then prayer is the best medicine. Truly, I tell you, the one who believes in me will also do the works that I do. And he will do even greater works than these, because I'm going to the Father. And whatever you ask in my name, I will do, to glorify the Father and the Son. That's out of John 14. And in our Jesus CEO discussion today, we'll talk about, Jesus says, use my name. Use it. That's why I came down to the earth for those 33 years. And the last 3 years of my life was for you to believe in me and the beautiful gifts that I will allow you to do in my name to glorify the Father. And so we'll talk more about that, but that's why we put God first and give him all the credit, because we are doing great things in his name. We're all responsible for our health and our choices. 1 Corinthians 6, you must know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, the Spirit you have received from God. You are not your own. You have been purchased at a price, so glorify God in your body, right? Glorify God. There it is again. Everything we do is to glorify God. And all life and healing comes from God. For I am the Lord who heals, out of Exodus. So we're glad to bring you this final portion of Jesus CEO. We started off with, remember, the strength of or self-mastery, 2 parts there, then 2 parts of being decisive in action, and the third part, which was Jesus CEO, strength of relationships. All of those were 2 parts, so 6 different segments of the Jesus CEO. So I'll get it started off. He acknowledged them in public and in private. In the military, they have a saying: you extol and praise in public, and you admonish, if you have to counsel people, in private. And that's always a good rule of thumb. So God knew how important it was to acknowledge the good in his people, his disciples, and motivate them. And also, time to admonish them, he would take them aside. And so that's what we're called to do too, not to embarrass people, not to make them feel uncomfortable in front of other people. So Jesus always was building them up. Like the Apostle Paul said, outdo one another in honor. He was always trying to make them feel good. And when they did well, pat on the back, a job well done. We can never outgrow that need to feel appreciated. I like to always address Kai and I, my kind and talented team, because they are. They are kind and they're talented. And got to remember that. And I always sign off with lead with love. Okay? And so that's our tagline. That's our culture. The more you do it, the more you say it, the more you believe it. Okay? And so everybody needs positive feedback. Remember what Jesus or God said to Jesus when he was baptized. This is my beloved son, who I am well pleased. And he said that also on the Mount of Transfiguration. Okay? So God praised his son. We are meant and made to praise and glorify our God. And so, since Jesus is all in and all, we're called to do the same for one another. We all need it. Jesus is all in and all. We all need that acknowledgement and that praise. Now, it's when it's justified, we don't go looking for it, but it's something that should become natural for us, just like glorifying God should be natural. It shouldn't have to be forced. Okay? So, just like when I sing to people, the song that I was singing about when I see you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while. You're amazing, just the way you are. And I did that over the weekend and the last few days out and about. And, it really gets people to smile. And even strangers, it builds people up. And, tough life, folks, is tough enough. So the more we can acknowledge people and build them up, the better all will be. Okay? Jesus looked out for the little guys. And lunch today, I take out one of the people that work at our church, and he has some special needs, and he really looks forward to us going out a couple times a month for lunch. And it was so beautiful. I took him to a restaurant he'd never been to, and it was a Mongolian grill, and he just loved how they prepared all his food right on the big open flame, and he just really enjoyed the food. It was a nice, healthy vegetable dish, and at the end we got a fortune cookie, and I opened mine up, and it said, "Be prepared to accept a wondrous opportunity in the days ahead." And I'm always talking to Kai and Ein, and people that I've been doing consulting work with and working with. The best is yet to come. And what I mean by that is Jesus Christ. But in our lives too, the best is yet to come. And I know the Lord, just like our verse today out of Jeremiah, he has a plan for us, a wonderful plan for us. And so let's just keep that attitude of gratitude and see where the Lord's going to take us. Okay? And so Jesus spent time with the sick, the sinners, the lame, the lepers. And he wasn't embarrassed to be with them. And he loved the little guy, the common folk, the fishermen. That's who he picked as his disciples. And he enrolled them. And so before the meeting, Kai and I talked about this. Sometimes I get so excited about what I do is I forget to call the question. And so I asked Kai and I today, I said, and I knew 99.5% chance that this is what they're going to say, but I asked the question to Kai and I. And Kai, are you 100% behind spreading the creator model of healthcare empowered by the 5 pillars of wellness, all for the glory of God, to the world?
Always yes.
And are you fully committed to spreading the creator model of healthcare empowered by the 5 pillars of wellness to be fully alive, mind, body, spirit, all for the glory of God?
Big yes, Dr. George.
Big yes. See? So that's what Jesus did. He called them out. He wanted an answer. He wanted to know, will you follow me? Do you love me? He said, right, to Peter 3 times. Feed my sheep. Okay, that verbal contract is, and so Jesus was good at that. Now, he didn't force anybody, just like I didn't force my kind and talented team, but he wanted an answer. He wanted, if you're with me or are you against me? Okay, and so he wanted that verbal contract, that commitment. So Kai's going to talk to us about, he kept urging them on.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. George. And thank you for making sure that our answers are yes. All right. So, well, next topic is he kept urging them on. And remember our icebreaker question earlier. We asked if there is someone or if you receive encouragement, from someone. So, is there someone who encourages you? And also another question is, do you always encourage someone? Jesus kept urging people on. And remember when he healed the paralyzed man, he said, "Take up your bed and walk." And he also asked Lazarus to come on, and he said, "Come into the light." And also with Peter, he he encouraged Peter to step out on the water. So this is the kind of leader Jesus is. He believes in his people without a doubt. And it all starts with that belief to your people, to other people. And that's why he never fails to encourage them. He also encourages us to step out of our faith and trust in him. His plans for us are good, pleasing, and perfect. And all we must do is to take a leap of faith, believing that he is ahead of us. As a leader, it is important to believe and encourage our peers. We should also envision the best future for them and encourage them to have bigger dreams. Teams who are encouraged and acknowledged are always inspired and productive. So today, I hope that you will, try to think of 3 people whom you can send an encouragement to. All of us need someone who will urge us to keep going on. And with that, let's proceed with Ein for the next topic, which is he had compassion for the crowds.
Thank you, Kai and Dr. George. So, the next topic is he had compassion for the crowd. So, Jesus desperately wanted to show people how loved they were. So many times in the Bible, Jesus cried in anguish, right? When he saw a city in spiritual shambles. Sometimes the wasted energy, the empty seats at the banquet, and all the pain and loneliness overcame him. Jesus wept. Jesus personally felt other people's pain. So in the book, the author, Laurie, shared what she remembered when she was being very sick, and a friend told her, I wish I could absorb your pain so that I would go away and leave you alone. That is compassion and empathy. So simply put, compassion is it's about being able to walk in someone else's shoes. And it helps us as a person to fulfill a life that matters because it gives perspective in our life and troubles and helps us become less self-absorbed and more focused on society and our role in it. And with that, let's move on to the next topic, which is he served them. So Jesus, the leader, served his people. Most religious teach that we are put here to serve God, yet in Jesus, God is offering to serve us. According to the book, this principle of service is what separates true leaders from glory seekers. The symbol of love is a circle. True service inspires service, which completes the circle. Jesus came from one power, love. To love is to serve, and God is love. The Old Testament mentality looked at humanity as being indebted to God and trying to please Him until Jesus came, the very Son of God, asking people, what would you like me to do for you? So the true attitude of service is a softening agent that works on the hardest of hearts and situations. Many Bible stories show God, the ultimate leader, preparing banquets, throwing parties, performing miracles, and bringing out the best wine to celebrate the return of an errant child. There are also stories about leaders like the Good Samaritan, right, who took time out from his mission to assist a battered enemy on the road. So with that, I leave you with a quote. Wise elders' advice for a young king. If you love these people and serve them and speak kind words to them, they will love you and follow you forever.
Absolutely. And, kind of to wrap that up a little bit is, some companies are held together by a paycheck. And to others, people, they would just give their paycheck to be a part of a company. And that's how love will just bring any organization to that next level. And it isn't even the top, money isn't the top thing people look at anymore in their job. It's, are they appreciated? Are they respected? Which means, are they loved? Money's the third or sometimes the fourth. So people have lots of choices these days. And so good call on that. The symbol of love is that circle. That complete circuit is to serve one another, to inspire others to do the same. And that's what we're doing when we lead with love, right? We're leading with God, inspiring other people to do the same. And Jesus, he could lead people because quite simply he loved them. And unconditional love is the greatest healer. Love covers a multitude of sins. Love is forgiveness in action. So many things that love will just do. And part of our 5 pillars of wellness and our Creator Model Healthcare curriculum, we boiled it down, folks, to one page. That's how simplified God wants medicine to be. And our affirmation on that page is to fix the world. All we need to do is love one another. It sounds so simple, but look where we're at. And after his 3 years of ministry on the earth, Jesus boiled it down to love God with all your heart, mind, and soul and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. So if you want to know his whole 3 year ministry, there it is. That's the mission statement. It's the infrastructure of everything that's worthwhile. Remember, the young kid asked me a few years ago, what's the best medicine? I said, love. And he said, well, what if it doesn't work? And I said, increase the dose, with a big smile. And that's what we do. Unconditional love. So when everything's said and done, only love will last. Love is the answer. We're going back to Cain about he defended them.
So he defended them. The story that brings this to mind is the one in which the scribes and the Pharisees came to Jesus and told him to rebuke his staffers because they were eating wheat on the Sabbath. Jesus knew the rules, and clearly the staff was breaking them. However, instead of turning and rebuking his errant crew, he turned to the scribes and the Pharisees. Another story is the one of Jesus and the woman taken in adultery. And Jesus said, all right, but let the one who has never sinned throw the first stone. So in this topic chapter, Jesus has shown compassion for his staff and shown compassion over human errors. And as a person having my fair share of human errors in the company and in life, I think to have someone who has compassion for you helps you grow as a person. Being someone who has experienced compassion from other people, I believe this encourages love and encourages you as a person to be better. And so with that, we
go to Kai, huh?
go to Kai, yes.
He gave them authority.
Thank you for that, Ayn. Very well said. And um, well, let's now discuss about he gave them authority. So he gave them authority. In Luke 9 verse 1, Jesus says, "And he called the 12 together and gave them power and authority over all demons to cure diseases." Also in Luke 10 verse 19, he said, "Behold, I have given you authority to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall hurt you." Jesus gave his staffers authority to act in his name even before they seemed ready for it. When he first sent them out with a newfound authority to heal the sick or even raise the dead, perhaps Jesus was wondering, what's going on with them and what report, they will be sharing when they come back. But sure enough, they came back with tales of success. Even the disciples, they were so amazed that they were able to heal. And also stories that sometimes they're confused and they don't really get why it didn't work out. And Jesus' response, of course, it's always classic. He says, "O faithless and perverse generation, how long must I suffer thee?" So Jesus also gave his staffers clear instructions on what to do with this authority. It is to heal the sick, to raise the dead. And he even told them what they were to wear, whom to talk to. He did not just send them out without a plan. Indeed, from here we can see that God is very keen with details. So delegation of authority requires a tremendous amount of trust. And actually, one thing that kept me staying here at DrGeorgeJ is the trust that Dr. George gave me from the beginning. I find it easier to grow as a person and as a professional, and also to excel when main goals are just given to me, and then after that, of course, main goals together with instructions. When you have this main goal, when what outcome, Dr. George actually is looking for, at least he gives you that freedom to come up with strategies, and even actions of how to execute them, to fulfill those goals. And with that, I feel more empowered, to make decisions for the company. So it really helps when you as a leader gives authority, to, of course, authority with instructions to the people under you. And with that, let me just proceed with the next one, which is he played with them. All right. So Jesus, the Omega leader, had no boundaries as far as his group was concerned. It says in the book that, and we also know this from the Bible, kids ran up to hug him. His staff had to force crowds to leave him late at night so that he can also rest. Everyone wanted him to come to their parties. So Jesus played with his people, and he surely reflected joy and laughter, or people would not have flocked to him. So Jesus was the ultimate charismatic leader, and most charismatic personalities have a healthy sense of humor. If you're watching the TV series The Chosen, actually you will see there that Jesus is a human being, not just a holy person, but he's a human who has a sense of humor, who laughs, who gives joke. So Jesus also went to gatherings and sang songs with them. He made them picnics on the shore, and he also held their children. He enjoyed watching their faces as one loaf of bread turned into three, and then 300, and then 3,000. Now Jesus rejoiced when the lame man threw down his clothes and ran up to hug him. Now, because nothing is hidden, a transparent leader is full of delight. Leaders who share their joy and spontaneity inspire love and loyalty in their followers. And it also says in the book that when people's defenses are down, they're more receptive to love, and nowhere is this more true than when they are playing. And with that,
Well,
oh, sorry, Dr.
well,
George.
well done, Kai. Well done, and leaders, they stand in the gap. And to what Kai was saying, they empower, they trust, they build your confidence. And, standing in the gap means, you have to support and back your people, even if they make mistakes. You're not going to be successful if you're never going to be a successful organization if you're afraid to make a mistake, because mistakes would mature you and allow you to move forward. Everybody's one mistake away from huge success. That's how I see it. And so, you know what? We try, we regroup, and tomorrow's a new day. And so, yeah, play. I love when I come to the Philippines in January. We're going to go play, and that's what we do. That's what we do as a group. We talked about that at our last meeting. We're going to go find a place with our families, and we're going to go relax and rejoice and sing songs to the Lord and really have a good time. And that's what we do. We build that camaraderie, that teamwork. And Jesus loved a good party. This leader loves a good party too. And so we're gonna do that. And our wonderful Jesus, he harbored only goodwill. He wanted to see the best in people. He promoted the best in people. Even when he was nailed to the cross, what were his final words? Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. I mean, that's after being at the pillar. He was flogged, and then the crown of thorns, and carrying the cross and nailed to the cross. He still had people's best interest at heart. And what did he say to the man on the cross next to him? Today you will meet me in paradise. And so all the way to the very end, Jesus wanted people to be with him in heaven. He was all about promoting salvation. He saw every one of us as future kings and queens. And he was quick to excuse and forgive our lesser acts, knowing we were capable of more. And he believed we could make angels sing and God truly proud. And I believe I've got two queens on the other end of this phone call. And they are capable of doing great things for the world. That's why we're together. And I know we're all going to be making the angels sing. And I know God's proud of what we're doing. We're not, far from perfect, but we get up each day and seek the Lord's will. And, you know, it's a beautiful journey. And, you know, the more we can embrace it and seek that beautiful will that the Lord wants for us, the more enlightened we become, the more peaceful we become, right? We're not fully at peace unless our hearts are resting in the hearts of Jesus. Then that's true peace. And Ian's going to talk to us about he gave them something tangible to remember him by.
Okay, thank you for that, Dr. George and Kai. So he gave them something tangible to remember him by. Yet Jesus did give his people something tangible to remember him by, the Last Supper. This was a ritual of communion based on his words. Every time you eat this bread and drink this wine, remember me. He understood the need for people to have tangible things to remember him by. It was ultimate gift to his staff, bread and wine representing tears and all the laughter.
You know, I just, you know, the faith of us, you know, is with the Eucharist, that tangible body and blood of Christ. You know, anytime that you receive that, it just is that visible. You could taste it, you could smell it, you could touch it. It just reminds you the beautiful gift God gave us, and His sacrifice for us, and it just draws you closer. You know, draws you closer to the Lord. So, beautiful job on that, Ein. So Kai's going to take up the next slide.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Ein and Dr. George. So next is he wanted to take everyone to the top. So, you know, if there is one thing that Jesus really wants to happen, it's really for all of us to be with him in paradise. You know, he is not selfish. God is not selfish. And the reason why he sent Jesus, you know, and just allowed him to die on the cross is because God doesn't want to spend, you know, eternity just for himself, you know, and enjoy heaven just for himself. He wants all of us to experience what it feels to be with him. And nowadays, the tendency of leaders or those who aspire to be leaders, you know, are to be self-centered. You know, they want to be sure that they will be seen on top of others. Sometimes they don't want to train those who are below them because they're afraid that, you know, some of them might be better than him or her. They want to have total control over others. And a Forbes article entitled "You Can Control and You Can Lead, but You Can't Do Both" says there that leadership is not about the fear of losing power in situations. Leadership is not about taking control, but it is about influence. It also says there, the best leaders know that their role is not to dictate, but to inspire and motivate others to act. When you surrender control, you invite people to discover their potential. You create a culture where your team looks to go above and beyond, not just to do the minimum to meet your demand. You will draw out a culture of communication that fosters and encourages innovation. So Jesus is really like this. Jesus gives us the authority to use his name to heal the sick, no, and he wanted to take as many people to the top with him as possible. So I hope that, you know, you're also open to that invitation of Jesus Christ to be with him to eternity. And with this, of course, we'll now switch to the next topic. He saw them as he saw them as God's gift to him, with Dr. George.
Yes. Well, Kai, I love how you just brought that all together, and how Jesus, he wants just the best for all of us. And, you know, as a leader, you empower people, you put God first, you give them the glory, and you let your people use their God-given talents. You know, I always said that, you know, your people will make you look good. Just let them do their job and don't micromanage them. I don't like to feel micromanaged because it thwarts my creativity. And I'm a little bit, resistant to that. Give me a mission, give me some direction, and let me go with it. And that's what I've learned to do with my team. And I'm more than pleased with the production, if you will, and what we've done over the last 5 years. And it's all gift I give praise to God for. Give God all the glory. And so that completes the circle, right? Service, serving one another completes the circle. The circle's love. And in his final recorded prayer on earth, Jesus said, these people were your gifts to me. And I just love this because Jesus, you could just, and in the movie The Chosen really brings us to life, that how as an incarnate, the Godhead and truly human as well, it was like you could really feel the love, that he was a real person that laughed and joked and had a good time. And for all the miracles that he did, for all the things that Jesus did and said in 3 years, the scripture says you wouldn't have enough paper to write it all down. But that's not what he wanted to be remembered for. Before he went to his Father, Jesus looked at Peter and said, Peter, you were God's gift to me. He looked at John and said, John, you were God's gift to me. He looked at Mary and said, Mary, you were God's gift to me. I look at Kai and say, Kai, you're God's gift to me. I look at Ein, you're God's gift to me. I look at my family and what beautiful gifts, this opportunity that the Lord has created for us to be his ambassadors for the creator model of healthcare. That's his gift. And so all gifts are meant to be shared. So he knew that God would not give him something that was not intrinsically good. So I know God won't give me people that aren't going to be good for his mission for us. And if he picks us, he equips us. And he's equipping us with the knowledge and the perseverance and the persistence to change the world, to show the world a better way in healthcare, to teach, to love, to heal. And he loved them to the end, And a lot of times in life, it's not what you said to somebody, but it's how you made them feel. And you may not remember everything people said to you, but I hope when I go to you, Jesus, that Kai and I said that Dr. George made me feel loved, made me feel appreciated, empowered. And you're not going to remember all the things that I said, but you'll remember how I make you feel. And that's the love affair that you should have with Jesus, and how he makes you feel. You're never alone. And he'll be there. He always will be there. Talk to Jesus, my guiding light. Never let go of his hand. And we've talked about that in prior videos. Love is the answer. And he saw his disciples, the people that he were acquainted with. That's his greatest accomplishment. And that's my gift to Kai and I, is to fully maximize their potential, to give them the opportunity to live fully alive, mind, body, spirit, for the glory of God. And if I give them any less, then I'm not doing my job as a leader, as an ambassador for Christ. And so I see Kai and I see Ein as my greatest accomplishment, because I can't do this by myself. None of this is going to get done. It's a team effort. And so I say, dear chairman of the board, or dear Jesus, dear God, as proof of good work here, I present to you Kai and Ein, completed in love. Dr. George. Okay? And so that's how we model our roles here on this earth after what Jesus would do. Not that I did this, and this. That doesn't matter to the Lord. that we're humble, we're loving, we're forgiving. We take time with people, just like Kai mentioned, with compassion. We walk in other people's shoes. We lead with love. We share love. We show love. We be love. Okay? And so nobody wins until we all do. All right. What did I say a few years ago on the Wellness Hour out of San Diego when I taped a session out there? Is that we all have the same role. Kai has, I do, Ayn does, Keisha does, Kai's daughter. All the people is to love God above all, love each other as God has loved us, and help each other on the path to salvation. Everybody, no matter what your occupation is, has that in common, because Jesus is all and in all. So what I'm trying to do is improve upon me each day. It's not a competition with Kai or I or my wife or anybody else. It's me trying to improve as a person each day. Help each other across that finish line so we can all join the Lord in heaven. That's what he wants. That's what his goal is that we all spend eternity in heaven with him. So, folks, this concludes our Jesus CEO. There's 6 parts to this series, this book that we did. It was a tremendous opportunity for us to grow as Team Love God, as DrGeorgeJ Holistic Health and Healing, being ambassadors for the Creator Model of Healthcare, and learning and growing with one another, and empowering each other to greater things. So we thank you for being on this journey with us, and it was a lot of fun, and it was enlightening in a lot of ways, a lot of growth. And so I'm going to turn it back over to my kind and talented Chief Operations Officer, Kai, and she's going to wrap it up for us.
Thank you, Dr. George. And yes, as Dr. George said, this is the last part of our Jesus CEO book study, and I hope that you will also check other videos that we have created for this through our YouTube account and also by joining our Creator Model of Healthcare Facebook group. And for next week, we will have another video, and this time we will be sharing with you about the Philippines, and as Philippines lead with love. So, well, Ayn and I won't be able to travel much because of the all the quarantine and whatnot because of the COVID, but we will try our best to really share information about the Philippines. And I hope that one day, all of you can also visit our country. And also, please do follow us in our social media platforms. As you can see on your screen, we have Facebook, Instagram, we also have YouTube and Pinterest. So just go ahead and search for all these accounts, and please do follow us and like or comment on our posts. And also for daily devotions, for free handouts, and all other resources for you to live fully alive in mind, body, and spirit, visit DrGeorgeJ.com. Okay, so with that, our team would just want to say thank you, and it is really a privilege to create all of these videos and content for you. Thank you so much for watching this video.
Yes, indeed, folks. We love you. Thank you, and may God bless you. Can't wait to share the beautiful country of the Philippines with you folks next week. So lead with love.
Yes, looking forward to that. Thank you, everyone, for giving us the opportunity to share, show, and be loved. And please don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel.